Welcome back to Sometimes Love Isn't Enough, the Parenting Through Challenges podcast. I am your host, Angie Grant. And for today's episode, I want to talk about something deeply personal. Our family right now is going through a crisis. It's not the first time that I've experienced crisis. If you've been following my podcast for a while, you probably know that apparently, crisis is my jam. And I say that a bit tongue in cheek, but when I think about my energetic design through the lens of human design, I am energetically created or designed to attract trauma into my life. My life's work, or my primary gate in my design, seeks or is energetically attracted to the gate of integrity. And it is in the gate of integrity where we hold trauma. And so, my interpretation of that, or at least my way of making sense of what I've been through in my life thus far, has been that my primary energy, my life's work is seeking integrity, but oftentimes is attracting trauma. And we're in a phase of disruption again. Our family currently is going through a significant challenge. I'm not here to share the details of what that is. That isn't really the purpose of this podcast, but it is something that has caused a disruption in the fabric of the way that we live, the way we interact. And quite frankly, our life cannot ever go back to the way that it was. So, why do I share this with you? Well, I share it because I'm a healer. It's what I'm here to do. I have a ridiculous amount of tools in my tool belt, and I've said this time and time again. I thought this when my son was in our home, and it was a crisis then too. At least that's how I viewed it. And with the frequent police visits and child protective services and hospitalizations and visits to the principal's office, I would define it as a crisis. And we're in a situation again where literally the shit just keeps hitting the fan. And I have new tools in my tool belt this time. Before, several years ago, when we were in crisis, I didn't know anything about the power that I had over my own thoughts or feelings. I really just had tools to try to fix his behaviors, but I didn't really have any tools in my tool belt to help me. I was a bystander in the midst of the crisis. And now I see my role so incredibly differently. I am not a bystander to what's happening in our family. I now see that I have a critical role and I have to take care of me in order to fulfill that. I reflect on what I have done in the past, which was to live in a victim state, telling myself stories about that my frustration, my overwhelm, my anxiety that was out of control was a direct consequence of my son's behaviors at the time. And now I see that my anxiety, my overwhelm, my frustration, my sadness, my fear, all of those emotions that are flowing in are a normal part of the process. Nothing's gone wrong. Nothing needs to be fixed necessarily. I look at it so very differently. It is inevitable as a human, as a mom, as a grandma, as my role, it's inevitable that I'm going to feel big, overwhelming, sometimes catastrophic feelings that I feel like have taken over and that I've lost control. But I have new tools now. And my first tool is that I have this deeper understanding about emotions. and my own emotional wave. Through the lens of human design, I am emotionally defined. So my emotional solar plexus is defined, meaning it's colored in on my chart. If you're not sure what that means, check out the show notes and grab your chart and let's chat. But what I know about through learning about human design is that I have an emotional wave. Any of us who have a defined emotional solar plexus, we have our own predictable wave. And so what this means to me is that it too will pass. As we're going through this crisis and I'm feeling big emotions and they feel out of control in the moment, I now have this trust that it won't last forever. The same is true for all of us, emotionally defined or not. That feeling of overwhelm or anxiety or depression or sadness or fear, it will pass if we allow it to. But oftentimes, what we do, what I did in the past, was I would feel this overwhelming anxiety and I would fuel the fire. So, yes, I have an emotional wave that will pass. But when I keep myself through just not even knowing, right? I wasn't doing anything intentionally to keep myself there. I was just being human without any awareness about the control or responsibility that I have over my own emotions. And so I would fuel the fire with my thoughts. I would feel this anxiety, which was a normal part of what I was experiencing. And I would continue to tell my story to anybody who would listen over and over and over again. I was solidifying my belief in what I thought to be the cause of the problem, and I was fueling my own anxiety fire by continuing to tell the same disempowered story about what was happening in my life. I now know I have control over that. I know that not only will my emotional wave pass, but I can help it pass by being more intentional about the thoughts that I'm bringing into my awareness. Instead of feeling victim to what was happening around me or throwing my hands in the air and saying, I have the greatest tools and I've tried everything. I now look back and I think like, oh man, I didn't even try the most important thing, which was working on my own mindset around my situation. So, so having that key understanding about emotional waves is a huge savior in my current situation right now. Having the understanding about personal responsibility, as I've learned through my coaches and mentors, has been a huge shift as we are navigating this huge disruption in our family. And and really understanding the elements of my design that can pose more challenges for me, perhaps, but also within those challenges hold the gifts. I was just, early before I started recording this podcast, I was recording an episode for my EFT tapping YouTube channel. And in a few days, we're moving into, well, a few days from when I'm recording this now, we're moving into gate 19, the gate of sensitivity. Gate 19 is part of my design. It's part of my core four or my life's work or my incarnation cross. It is my unconscious earth, meaning when I am grounded in the energy that gate 19 brings, I shine out what I'm here to do in the world. Gate 19 is the gate of sensitivity. And understanding this gate has been such a catalyst to my own growth and my own healing. Because old Angie, previous Angie, past life Angie was a victim to this energy of sensitivity. I would take on other people's emotions. I would be so sensitive to the needs of others that I would lose myself. I would lose my own personal responsibility within that energy and not know what was theirs and what was mine. My story was codependent on their pain. I now have this profound awareness about what is mine and what I hold and what I feel and what I am learning as I am experiencing the emotions of others. Gate 19 resides in the root center, and my root center is undefined. So I deeply feel not only is it part of my incarnation cross, as I said, but my root center is undefined. And so I deeply feel that that sensitivity pressure from others, from those in my life, from those that I interact with. But that doesn't have to be the end of my story. With this awareness that human design gives me, and this awareness that, um, as a certified mindset coach, that gives me to show up differently for myself first. As I said, my family is going through this huge disruption, and I am there for them and I am present for them, but I can't do that if I don't first regulate myself and show up for myself first. So, in having this awareness about my deep sensitivity and having this awareness about what I need to be present, I get to choose how I want to show up for my family. I get to choose to jump in the pit of despair that they're feeling right now with them, or I get to choose to create a safe, healing presence for them. By me raising my emotional frequency, by me really grounding myself so that I am not deep in the trenches with them. And that doesn't mean that I'm not sensitive to what they're feeling. It doesn't mean that I don't care because I care so flipping much. But when I'm in the trenches with them, I cannot be present for them. And so I know that my role is to be the calm in the storm. I know that my role is to be present, to hold the space for their healing as they work through what they're working through. I know that it is my duty as mom, as grandma, it is my duty to create a space that allows for heart coherence, that allows for that love that I hold in my heart for these people that I love so deeply. I must create a space that allows for that connection between my love for them and safety for them to feel what they need to feel and heal how they need to heal as the way that they knew life is totally disrupted. When I first was, when our family was first going through this experience, it took me a few days to take a step back. I knew that I needed to handle this situation differently than I have in the past because the way that I handled crises in the past depleted me quickly. And I know also personally that my nervous system still has a lot of healing to do from what I've been through. And I'm working on that every day. But I knew that I needed to do differently, not only for them and what they were going through, but I knew that I needed to do differently for me because when my nervous system isn't fully healed yet, I become more reactive when when faced with things that feel out of my control. And life is full of things that are out of our control. But the one thing that I know I always have control of is following the flow of my emotions and coming back to who I am and who I'm here to be and what I'm here to do. And this space that I get to hold. I'm not here to fix anything for my family. It doesn't mean I don't offer solutions. It doesn't mean that I don't help brainstorm, right? Of course, that's still part of my role, but on a much bigger scale, my role is to create safety and not fix what's happening. So I share this story with you to help you see a few things. One, you're not alone, right? The shit's going to keep hitting the fan. This is this is life. And sometimes some of us are or have called into our life this energetic blueprint that invites us to step up, to step forward, to break the patterns that have been on repeat through generations. Because I know that the traumas that I've experienced, it wasn't just me, right? This has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And I know that previous generations have passed down DNA that is holding their trauma. And that shows up in me and it comes out in me. Things that I feel pain for that I don't even know where it came from. But my soul knows that it came from past generations. And I know that I have this increased awareness about the power over mindset, our responsibility as humans. I know that I have been given these gifts to help people really see their energetic design, not because I needed a new tool in my tool belt per se, or not because I needed a new way to make money. That isn't what it's about. I know at an energetic level that these tools were brought to my awareness so that I could start to break generational patterns that aren't serving humanity anymore. If when we are faced with challenges, it becomes a crisis. If we respond and let our nervous system become victim to what's happening around us, then we're powerless to heal ourselves and to show up the way that our kids need us to. As someone had asked me the other day, what is my mission statement? Who is it that I'm here to serve and to heal? And I said, if I'm being honest, I have two parallel missions happening at the same time. And I don't think that either can be separated from the other. I know that first and foremost, I am here to help humans heal their trauma. It, it, I feel such a strong pull to help others with tools, practical, simple tools to heal their trauma so that they can be present for those that they love. And the second part of that, the other parallel process that I'm here to help with, is I know that when we can see our kids and ourselves, of course, but when we can see our kids at an energetic level and see what they uniquely need, we show up differently for them so that we minimize the risk of them holding trauma in their energy field as well, right? We have to heal ourselves and we have to see our kids differently so that we can build their resilience so that when there are big disruptions in their life, they can handle it better. It doesn't knock them totally off course. It may create a different path in life, but I know that I have a part in creating a world where parents see their kids in a way that we raise them with such empowerment, such authenticity, such a strongly held belief that they are lovable and valuable just because they exist. I know that in my core that that is why I'm here and why the things that I've learned over the past couple of years have been brought in front of me. And so I I share this story with you to help you feel seen, to let you know that you're not alone, to and to say that we have to do it differently. We cannot go through crises in our family. We cannot go through these big disruptions and be the victim. One of us, any one of us, has to settle into that idea that it is our duty to create safe space so that our loved ones can heal. I know since we've been going through this over the past couple of weeks, I have been tapping like crazy. And I say that every day, every single day, several times a day. as a ritual. It was part of my routine before, but now it is a daily ritual to tap and clear what I need to clear. And then as my emotions come up, I give them a little bit of time to pass. And then I tap so that I can re-regulate. Not because I don't want to feel my emotions. That isn't what it's about. It's about not letting my emotions take over, not falling victim and falling into the deep, deep pool that my emotions can take me to. It's about feeling it, letting it ride out, and then gently bringing myself back to a place of safety so that I can be present. Because it isn't about me. I have to be in a space where I can be present for others, but my role is to help support those that I love. So I am so grateful if you're still here listening. I thank you for listening to the end. This, as I said, is a deeply painful and yet powerful thing that our family is going through right now. I appreciate you holding space for me as I am holding space for you for whatever your family's going through. When you're ready, I do invite you to book a connection clarity call because I can help you with these practical tools to shift the way that you're showing up for yourself first and then for your loved ones. You don't have to go it alone. And quite frankly, it's hard to do by ourselves. I am surrounded by a network of mentors and coaches who are holding space for me. I am not doing this alone, but I'm sharing my journey with you to help you see that it is possible to shift the current way that your body's feeling. It is totally possible to shift the way that you're showing up for yourself, but you have to make a decision first. Nobody's going to decide that for you. It's up to you to decide that you're done letting the crises or disruptions take over. And if you've been in a many years long um, marathon of disruptions, I see you too. I have definitely been there and I did not know how to get out. I do now. I have powerful tools to help you get out. You don't have to stay there anymore. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Again, so much gratitude as you have hung out here with me through this. And I can't wait to connect with you and help you on your healing journey. That is all. We will talk soon.